Hi, I'm at home in Sheffield, and I'm just in the little sanctuary space in my home that I've made where I come to do my meditations and rituals and so on. And you may have a little space like this at home too. And I've made a little altar with all kinds of objects on it from over the years of travelling and gifts people have given me and so on. Things that hold significance and magical meaning and power for me. I've come here because I want to tell you the story about one of these objects that I found on one of my Wonder Voyages last year on Skiathos, the Greek island. And I had so many encounters and experiences on that visit. I wrote them down in this journal book. And this time I was going out into the dark forest, off the path. And as you step off the path, I really got the sense that I needed to ask permission of the spirits, the things that were dwelling there. And I asked, and then I stepped into this really shadowy, dark forest. There was a real shift in energy as I stepped off the path. And I found this place in the forest where there were these big white boulders, and they were split by the roots of trees weaving their way through them. There was some moss growing on them and so on. It was dark and shady. It was sunny, but here in the forest it was dark and quite cool. And I took off my clothes and stood on the rocks and spoke my name, introduced myself, and I asked for a gift from the forest. And as I was moving down into meditation, sending my roots down, starting to sense the awareness of the place and the sense of the soul of the place, a shaft of sunlight came through the trees further up the hill. I'd already laid out a canvas onto the ground to do some painting, but further up the hill there was a shaft of light. And so I jumped from rock to rock with my bare feet. The rocks were quite sharp. There were branches and twigs and fallen leaves and so on. And I got to the top of this big white boulder. It was a kind of sedimentary rock. And embedded in the side of this rock was about the size of my hand. It was an egg-shaped pebble. In fact, I've got it here. And it was embedded deep in the rock, as if the rock had kind of melted around it. I guess it must have laid on the bottom of a river or an ocean at some point in its history. And it was lodged in the side of this boulder. And I was curious, because I could only see this bit. I was curious to it, so I tried to shift it and wiggle it. And eventually it started to move, and it came out and fell into my hand. And it felt like such a gorgeous energy. One side of it is really smooth. The other side is rough, like the surface of the moon. And as I took it out of the side of this boulder, a scorpion, I've never seen a scorpion in the wild before, a scorpion that was living in the hole crawled out of the hole and across the canvas. And it didn't feel malevolent. In some ways it felt really friendly and kind of welcoming. And it was a powerful creature. And it was almost like a gift of power to me. And the scorpion crawled across the canvas and then into the undergrowth. And so I took this pebble, this ochre rock, this gift, and I held it to my heart. And then in the midst of all the energy of the forest, I could hear the air was still in the forest, but I could hear the sound of the wind above the branches. Maybe it was the scorpion. I was just kind of overcome by this soporific, hallucinogenic energy, and I lay back on the forest floor onto the canvas. And as I looked up through the branches shifted and changed. And I could see this face leering down from the sky, like a skull formed from the branches with the light shining through. and it was looking at me. And we had a conversation, and I wrote it down because it was so significant and so powerful. And so I'm going to read it to you. What happened? Who are you? I said. Who are you? And the being spoke. I am the death in this forest. Who are you? And I spoke my name. And the death asked me, have you come here to die? No, I said. Then why are you here? And I said, I've come to seek a gift of wisdom from the dark forest gods. And the death said, then I'm not the one you're looking for, but he is approaching soon. And the branches swayed again, and the death, I could feel that he was making his leave, he was starting to go. But I said, wait, because something kind of arose in me. I said, wait. I have parts of me that are dead and need to be consumed. And the forest death paused. They were about to leave, but they stopped and turned and smiled and spoke again. Yes, you carry them with you, attached like gangrenous limbs. They're dead. Yet you live in hope that one day they're going to spring into life again. They are dead. I paused for a moment because he was speaking truth. And I said, can you take them from me? Again, the death spoke. I will take them to where they belong. Reach out your hand into the crevice in the rock beside you. And I looked, and just there in the boulder, in the rock by the side of me, there was a crevice, there was a crack in the rock, and it was kind of festooned with spiders' webs and leaves and detritus. And it was dark, it was so dark. And it was right just by my head. And I reached up with my hand and reached into this darkness, and I could feel it was like a portal to the underworld. And I paused for a moment because I knew this was a significant, powerful event and powerful decision. And I reached my hand into this crevice, in this dark crevice in the rock. And as I did so, I felt, this energy coming out of me, taking this load from me, like putting down a heavy load that, a backpack you've been carrying. Suddenly it was gone. It had left me. It was such a moment of profound liberation. It had taken something from me, things from me that I no longer needed, but that I've been carrying for a long, long time. And then I waited and waited, because I was waiting for the gift that the forest death had spoken of. He'd said that the one that I was waiting for was approaching. And I waited and waited. The forest death had dissipated, the branches were moving in different ways, and he was no longer there. And in time, I picked up the stone, I picked up some charcoal that I had to draw, and I began to draw on the canvas, waiting and waiting and waiting. It's a true story. That's what happened. I'm not waiting anymore, not for that anyway. The gift came. I hope wherever you are, however your day is going, you find moments to wait in the peace and find yourself in places where you can really listen and ask for the gift the place has for you. Sending lots of love wherever you are, and I'll see you soon.